Seeds play an important role in rice production in terms of their contribution to quality, competitiveness, and increased yield. In the Topic 3 video, Japan's Seed Production System and Responsible Organizations, we explain the flow of seed production. In this video, we explain details of the technologies for maintaining seed quality and points to note at Japan's seed production sites. In Part 1 of the Topic 4 video, Technologies Utilized at Seed Production Sites, let's look at processes from seed preparation to field inspections. Seed production starts with the selection of recommended varieties, after which the Ibaraki Agricultural Research Institute produces foundation seeds, which the Registered Seed Center uses to produce registered seeds. Registered seeds are then sold to seed production farmers via JA Seed Centers, which are seed production business entities. Ibaraki Prefecture inspects the seeds that have been produced, and good quality seeds that pass inspection are bought by general farmers who grow rice. Now let's look at the specific work for the seed production conducted by the Registered Seed Center and seed production farmers following the annual production schedule. The first step is raising seedlings. This is the Registered Seed Center that produces registered seeds. First, seeds are prepared for sowing. The foundation seeds are placed in mesh bags for soaking, and the variety name is clearly written on a tag attached to each bag. Production of good seeds requires production of seedlings that are not affected by disease. For this reason, the foundation seeds are sprayed with fungicide and soaked in water for 3 days to sterilize pathogens attached to the surface. The water is not stirred or changed during this time to allow the disinfectant to thoroughly permeate. The water is changed for the first time on day 4. Then the seeds are soaked for about 10 days at a water temperature of 10 to 15 degrees Celsius to ensure uniform germination. Frequent changes of water during this time ensure that the seeds are properly oxygenated. Germination is complete when the sprouts reach a length of 1 millimeter and seeds puff up like a pigeon's chest. Next is sowing. The nursery bed soil is fertilized for sowing. It is free of unwanted matter, such as other seeds, and is rich in organic matter with good air permeability, drainage, and nutrient retention properties. It is also commercially available. The amount of dry seeds for seedling raising is 150 grams or less per tray, and seeds that have germinated and puffed up at the same time are sown evenly. After sowing, the trays are kept at 25 to 30 degrees Celsius in a wet and dark container until germination. Temperatures of 28 to 30 degrees Celsius are appropriate for germination. High temperatures over 31 degrees Celsius may cause the occurrence of disease. When sowing, all machinery and equipment are kept clean to prevent seed mixing. Stringent cleaning includes discarding even a single seed that has dropped on the floor. Germinated seedlings are managed in a greenhouse and sprayed with a fungicide to prevent disease. The most appropriate fungicides are selected after checking the latest agrochemical registration information. Fields are plowed in parallel with nursery management. First, field soil preparation. Chemical properties of the field soil are analyzed, and the deficient nutrients are supplemented with calcium silicate, fused phosphate, and magnesium multiphosphate. Wheat straw compost is applied 1 to 2 months before transplanting. Plowing depth is 15 to 20 centimeters. Plowing is always done in both spring and autumn. Autumn plowing ensures less germination from spilled rice seeds the following spring. Harrowing is carried out in early spring for soil pulverization and to remove unevenness and level the fields. Once the paddy plowing is complete, the field is watered. The soil is further broken down by puddling and carefully churned while burying weeds to make a flat soil surface. The main aim of puddling is to prevent paddy field water leakage, even out the paddy surface to enable uniform seedling growth, facilitate transplanting, and promote seedling rooting and development. The seedlings in trays have grown well. Nursery management in the greenhouse is normally about 20 days. Once the seedling has 2 to 2.5 leaves, reaches a plant height of 12 to 13 centimeters, and leaf length of 7 to 8 centimeters, it is time for transplanting. Transplanting is carried out after puddling and the field surface has settled down. The number of seedlings planted is about 4 to 5 per hill, making sure not to plant deeper than 3 centimeters. Immediately after transplanting, water depth of the fields is kept at about 2 to 3 centimeters to promote rooting of seedlings. A herbicide is sprayed after transplanting to prevent damage from weeds. In June, it is important to manage water in paddy fields. The aim of paddy water management is to protect the seedlings from sudden environmental changes. Also, by ensuring that the water does not drain away, it plays a role in weed control that maintains herbicide effects. Once the seedlings have taken root, diligent water management is carried out with shallow flooding. Mid-season drainage is carried out between 30 and 40 days after transplanting. The water is drained for 5 to 10 days. The soil is supplemented with oxygen to improve root vitality and encourage strong rooting, while harmful gases are released from the soil to suppress excessive tillering. As the soil hardens, it makes off-type removal and cutting easier. After mid-season drainage, to prevent root rot, the field undergoes intermittent irrigation consisting of watering for 3 to 4 days, then 1 more day of natural outflow, followed by another watering. Herbicides should not be used for ridge weeds. They should be mowed using a sickle or brush cutter. If herbicides are used, the weeds wither to the root, the ridge weakens and degrades and can cause water leakage. Paddy water management and ridge weeding are also diligently continued through July. This series of processes can differ slightly in terms of scale and procedures, but the production of foundation seeds, registered seeds, and certified seeds basically follows the same process. In terms of seed production, however, one of the most important processes is off-type removal conducted throughout the growth period in the paddy fields. Off-type removal refers to removal of foreign matter such as off-types, mutants, and plants that have slipped into the field. First, let's take a look at the causes of off-type contamination and countermeasures. Off-types from spilled seeds of previous years. In principle, avoid planting different varieties from the previous year in the same field. Flooding the field is another possible countermeasure. Off-types brought in from other fields via agricultural machinery. Machinery should be thoroughly disassembled and cleaned. Off-types from the nursery and/or transplanting. Nursery trays of different varieties are placed away from each other. Work with several people together. Trays should be marked clearly with the variety name. Mixed variety seeds. Processes that treat seeds should be closely checked by several people. Off-types crossbred in the previous year. Uproot the whole hill if sterile. Plant 2 varieties of similar heading stage at a reasonable distance to avoid crossbreeding. Mutants. Uproot any problematic hills. When should off-type removal be carried out? The following are points to note for removal by growing stage. 1 month after transplanting at the early growth stage. Watch for spilled seedlings that have grown in places other than where the transplanter has planted. These seedling types include those that have floated up after transplanting and have taken root elsewhere. There are also seedlings that have grown from the seeds spilled in the previous year. The key to distinguishing spilled seedlings is that they grow unnaturally between the transplanted rows or between hills. Floating seedlings are often caught on seedlings grown on the rows. Walk in the paddy parallel with the ridge and observe the rice plants within 4 to 5 rows. Mid-growth stage and panicle formation stage. Watch out for seedlings from spilled seeds, spotted plants, also called striped plants, Bakanae disease, which is a seed-borne disease, and plants with different color or shape. Uproot all plants that are intuitively felt to be different. A plant with Bakanae disease will have a pale leaf color. The foliage will grow, but the overall plants in the same hill die, and white spores will appear on the base of the plants. Booting stage. Watch out for plants where heading is extremely early and for striped plants. Plants that head 5 days or more early are uprooted, although this criterion may vary according to weather conditions. Full heading stage. Watch out for plants that bend early, have tall culms, and plants with different panicle shape, husk size and shape, flag leaf angle, and length. early heading plants will bend over. Glutinous rice varieties include some that have tip colors of red and purple. Ripening period. Watch for sterile plants, plants that are late heading, plants with different on color and length if present, different ripening stage, different husk size and shape, or different grain density. Sterile plants do not bend over because they do not ripen, so they are off types that are easy to find. Sterile plants should be uprooted. Maturing stage. Watch out for plants with different maturing stages, late heading plants, and sterile plants. A hill with any plants that remain green and have very mild bending should be cut at the base. At the off-type removal before field inspection, plants should be totally uprooted. For plants with false smut, remove any panicles with disease symptoms. Let's summarize the main points about off-type removal. Off-types from the heading stage to before the maturing stage should be uprooted completely. This is because they will regrow later if only cut at the base. From the maturing stage and onward, no mixing can occur during harvesting, even if a new plant grows up from the base, so it is permissible to cut at the base. Now let's take a look at the off-type removal processes at the registered seed center and seed production farmers, respectively. Let's start with the registered seed center. Off-types that are clearly different from the cultivated varieties must be removed to ensure no mixing with other varieties. To ensure absolute uniform quality of seeds, off-type removal is repeatedly carried out in the heading stage of July and August and in the dough stage of September.
秋田小町という品種のイカブ抜きをやりました。で、イカブ抜きはだいたい4回入ることになってて、今回入ったのは、出水期直後のイカブ抜きになります。人数は多い時で7人から8人ぐらいですね。で、少ない時で、4人ぐらいで入ってきます。1人で4本から5本イカブ抜きは見ていきます。それ以上になると見落とししやすいというのと目が届きにくくなってしまうんで、なるべくなら5本までかなと。見方はですね、イカブ抜きやるときは真下、こっちの下を見るんじゃなくてちょっと先ですね、 1.5 メートルから2メートルぐらい、このぐらいの先で見るようにしてます。その方が見やすいので。あとちょっと進んだらちょっと後ろ振り返って見るような感じでやってます。やっぱり角度によって見落としちゃうことがあるので、いろんな方向から見るような形で、あとは周りの人も見落としがあったら言ってもらって抜いていくということですね。
We attached a line of sight camera to a worker to validate where they are actually looking while identifying an off-type in the field. The red circles on the screen indicate where the worker is actually looking. You can see that he is not looking at his feet, but at a point 1.5 meters ahead. You can also see that his line of sight is moving within a range of 5 rows. He has looked back. He seems to have found something. The leaf color varies from others and looks slightly white. It seems to be a striped plant. This is just after heading, so uproot completely. This shows the basic rule of off-type removal work, which is to look carefully and without rushing. This is a scene of off-type removal work at a seed production farm. What are the criteria that farmers use to determine an off-type to be removed?
病気だね。四香いもち。これいもち。まあ別にいい品種じゃないけどね。あった。これね。この野毛の長いのはやっぱりこれは品種改良の中でこう出るもんだよねやっぱりね。こういうのは抜かなしなのね。明らかに違うからね。気がついた時に取らないとそこの角度からは見えるけどこっちの角度に来た時には見えないからやっぱり気がついた時はもうすぐ抜く。だからなんかみんなで止まってこうダダダって横に入ってって取ったじゃないですか。あれはやっぱり気がついた時はもうそれ取らないとまあその辺はやっぱり一番大事ですよね。だからこうやって田んぼなんかも普段巡回していても田んぼを見ながら気がついた時はもう田んぼの中バーッと入ってって抜き取り、気がついた時やらないとやっぱり分かんなくなっちゃう。これは去年の種も芽が落ちたで実がついたやつ抜く。これは抜いちゃう。これが老成。老成はやっぱりね足元に絡むっていうかやっぱり見ても分からないんですよ間に生えてるのって。小さいうちは分かるんですけど大きくなって分からなくなっちゃうんでやっぱり足に引っかかるとかそういうのは手がかりだからこうずらしてどの畝も全部足が入るようにしてイカブを見つけるっていうかね。だからこう並ぶ時は必ずこう列を確認して足もこうちょっとこう開き気味にこうねすり足でこうそういう工夫はねしてますよね。イカブを見つけるのはやっぱり天候ね。夏だと西日っていうか夕日っていうか午後は光がこう光って反射してね色が見づらいっていうか黄金色にみんな見えちゃいますからね。そうすると葉の色の養殖がおかしかったりとかね穂先の色が違ったりとかそういうのがやっぱり見づらいからできれば見やすい天気の時にやるようにしてますね。
The basic rule of off-type removal is remove anything suspicious. Remove this as soon as you find it. Chemical spraying is carried out in July to prevent damage from diseases and insect pests. Particularly during this stage of panicle formation and securing the required number of stems, a pest and disease infestation will greatly affect the final paddy rice growth and yield. Diligent prevention is important to further improve seed quality and ensure that quality is not compromised by pests and disease. In August also, water management, off-type removal, and chemical spraying are conducted. Field inspections are also conducted at this time. Field inspections cover heading, full heading, and ripening conditions of rice under cultivation in seed production fields. It is the first stage of inspections to achieve the stable supply of good quality seeds. Each field and its perimeter are inspected for close observation of crop appearance and field surrounds. Inspections also include assessment of presence of off-types, level of pest and disease occurrence, and growth status. Field inspections are conducted twice, at the heading stage and the dough stage, based on the following criteria. No inclusion of different varieties and other crops. A low level of weeds. No presence of seed-borne disease. No more than 20% pest and disease damage or damage from weather disasters. No indication of any particular growth abnormality.
番号順に参ります。533番。
はい、三角です。はい、老成が5です。 ここだけちょっと老成が目立った形なので後で、抜き取りの方お願いします。
In September, water management and off-type removal continue. During this period, field inspections are carried out for a second time. The reason for this second inspection is because the different growth stage changes the inspection focus. As you can see, at the front line of seed production in Japan, the many people involved are making an effort using a variety of technologies to ensure seed quality is maintained.